I don't know where you've been, but you're gonna respect this courtroom. My life has proven that it's not about where you come from, it's about where you're going. From a jailed youth who had my record expunged to becoming the youngest judge elected.
The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding.
In just 15 years. Ma'am, let me know when you want to go to rehab. Otherwise, I think you're a crackhead.
Absolutely not.
My goal is to inspire others to overcome their obstacles. You don't need him and his little raggedy roommate.
Thank you.
All while having a little fun on Mathis Court. You look like you're ready to lie right the first word out your mouth. This is Mathis Court with Judge Mathis.
Ray Cole is suing his son Lucas Cole in the amount of $3,200.
All rise. Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding.
Mr. Cole claims he reconnected with his son after years of estrangement due to his past alcoholism and says he loaned his son money that he now refuses to pay back.
State your name, sir.
My name is Ray Cole.
How about you?
My name is Lucas Cole.
All right, and sir, you're suing Mr. Cole. Is this your son?
Yes, it is, Your
All
Honor.
right, you're suing him for $3,200 for an unpaid loan?
Yes, sir.
All right, start with you.
I brought my son to court because we have a conflict. We have a disagreement about money that I loaned him. I have to admit, I have not always been a good father to my son. I battled with alcoholism for a number of years following the tragic death of my ex-wife, which is my son's mother.
How old was he during those years?
He was about 8 years old.
Until what?
I got sober about 2 years ago.
So from age 8 to what age were you alcoholic?
I
You
was
were
an
alcoholic when he's starting at age 8. How old was he when you stopped 2 years ago?
I don't think I was an alcoholic when he was 8 years old. I think I was.
Going what you tell me. You the one said that. Where do you think I got it from? You think I just pulled it out there, sir? You
I'm
the
sorry,
one
Your
said
Honor.
it. That alcohol done got them brain cells. How old were you?
I was 22 years old when
22. And you stayed until 22. That's rough. Those are formative years. Those are
Yes, sir.
absolute formative years.
Yeah.
Did you come out all right?
I feel so.
You get in trouble? You go to jail?
No jail, no criminal
Good,
record.
good.
No trouble with the
Your
ladies.
mom raised you? Or she
Unfortunately,
passed?
she
Who
passed
raised
away
you?
when I
Your
was-
dad raised you?
My father did not raise me. I was raised by my aunt.
Okay. Well, she did a great job.
I appreciate that, Your Honor.
Yeah. All right. Go ahead, sir.
I got a DUI, and a condition of that probation was I have to do a alcohol rehab. And while I was doing that rehab, I did complete it, by the way.
Good.
And I'm 2 years sober.
Good.
And one of the things I wanted to do was make amends to all the people who I abandoned while I was using alcohol.
Now, that's real recovery. That's one of the main things that they say in recovery. And the 12 step, is that the program, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and folks don't recognize that. I want to reinforce that to folks who are in the Narcotic Anonymous and AA. You can't just do all that damage, get clean, and think you don't have to worry about your past anymore. No, you got to try to redeem yourself.
And I'm very proud I was able to accomplish that.
Good.
Another thing I had to do as a condition of that probation supervision is I had to speak to other alcoholics and encourage them to follow in the same journey that I have as far as getting help. Because you have to acknowledge that you have a problem, and then you can get the help that you need. So once I completed that part, I decided I was going to re-enter my son's life because I only have one child. This is my son. And I was able to locate him on social media. And to my delight, he responded to my reaching out, the message I sent him. And so we were able to meet and talk. And during that time, he told me that I was a grandfather. I have a beautiful granddaughter now. And despite me not being around for my son, I'm very proud of him. However,
hold on. I want to ask a couple questions about this scenario because I want to see how it affected him. And you were kind and had enough in your heart to allow him to come into you. And the reward you get is to get sued. Damn you let him in, he sue you. Go ahead, sir. Let me hear from you, young
Absolutely.
man.
Thank you, Your Honor. Yeah, I just want to start off by saying I want to set the record clear. I don't owe my father any money.
We haven't talked about that yet, so go ahead, tell me about your association with him now.
Absolutely. Like I said, growing up, my father was already showing from early ages that I could not rely on him, not being around for months at a time. By the time I was 10 years old, I did lose my mother. During that time, because my father was not in a position to care for me and provide for me, again, that whole time I'm struggling, you know what I mean? I'm trying to figure out manhood. I'm trying to figure out my identity and who I am and who I come from. I went through life on my own. You know, I had a daughter by the time I was 18 years old, and the difference is that I stayed, I fought. I didn't give up on my daughter. You know, I didn't turn to drugs, I didn't turn to alcohol. I stayed there and I stuck it out. And during that time, it got rough for me, truth be told. And like I said, around 22 years old, 23, he attempted to come back into my life. And during this time, I needed a father more than ever in my life. So I wanted him, I needed him, and I believed him to come back into my life and be ready to be a father at that time. Unfortunately, after doing that, I saw very quickly that there was a string attached.
Coming up on Mathis Court with Judge Mathis.
After not being in your son's life for 20 years due to your failure to be able to control your addictions, when you do come into his life, 4 months later you sue him.
If you'll be in the Los Angeles area and want to bring your case to court, call 1-888-552-6878.
You're watching Mathis Court with Judge Mathis. This is Mathis Court with Judge Mathis.
Mathis Court is back with the case of Ray Cole, who is suing Lucas Cole for breach of contract.
The string attached was giving and allowing help for me and my situation, but then waiting and waiting and waiting and almost baiting me, and then later telling me, oh, it's some type of loan, when that was never established.
It was a loan.
It was never established as a loan.
How long were you all back before the money came up?
I would say about 4 months. We had
4 months.
About 4 months. We had a solid relationship.
After having not seen each other or been in each other's lives for 20 years, maybe?
Correct.
Yes.
4 months afterwards, after not being in your son's life for 20 years due to your failure to be able to control your addictions and your lifestyle and your behavior, he did everything he needed to do to control his lifestyle, to have good behavior, and to achieve an amount of success. And 20 years after not seeing him, when you do come into his life, 4 months later you sue him. How does that sound to you?
Well, Your Honor, I got bills.
I understand.
And basically,
I
I loaned him that money.
Just wondering how it sounded, that's all. I know you got bills. All right, but during that 4 months, that's all you all had together.
Correct.
And you want to ruin that. All right. Tell me what happened with the money, sir.
I explained to my son that it was a loan. He came to me, he said, Dad, my car's not running, my alternator's not working. Can you help me? I said, I can help you, but it's a loan.
What were the terms of repayment, dates?
He said
There's
he
a
would give it to
contract
me
you
when
have-
he got it.
Pardon me?
He told me he would give me the money when he got it.
You got it?
I do have it, sir, but that was never the agreement.
You should have said you don't have it. I'm glad you don't lie to the judge. Thank you. You're an honest man. But if the man say the agreement was you paying when you got it, all you gotta do is say I ain't got it yet.
That's
So
the
ain't no
thing.
lawsuit.
Yeah, I know. And that's the thing, Your Honor. There was never an agreement. And during the time I didn't have it, you know, and saying I have it now was more like
How
I
long
have
ago
it
was it,
ready
sir?
for rent.
Sir, how long ago was it?
Now, what I just heard kind of shocked me. This was maybe last summer, 6 months ago.
Now, what? 6 months ago. Now, what just shocks you?
He basically doesn't feel like the money was a loan. That's really the point of this whole lawsuit. The dispute is about he thinks it was a gift. It was not. It was a loan.
It was stated as a
I
gift.
loaned him $900 for that alternator I previously mentioned. Haven't got the money back.
That's $900. How do we get to $3,200?
A month later, he told me that he was short on his rent. I gave him an $800 check for rent, and that was for him. It was a loan. Another month goes by, and he has none of his rent, and he asked me for assistance again. And also, he mentioned Rose's birthday is coming up, and I need some money for her birthday too. I want to get her something nice. And I'm all for that. I love my granddaughter. I love her very much. It's the only grandchild I have, Your Honor. So I told him, I'm gonna pay your rent as a loan,
Never stated.
and then I'm gonna give you $100 for Rose, and on the card, right, from Dad and Grandpa. So the birthday comes, he did not put down my name on the greeting card.
How do you know?
I saw the card.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
So I felt betrayed. I felt like I'd been stabbed in the back by my own seed. So I'm like, here I am trying to reconnect with my son, and you're gonna stab me in the back?
Yeah, see, I had a brother that, God bless his soul, he was addicted to crack cocaine for 25 years. So I know so much about it. I lived with him. We lived together for years. Even after I graduated from college, he was staying with my other brother who was selling powder cocaine, and my other brother was cooking it up and smoking it with his friend, buying it from him and his friends. And I had to walk through that every day to the attic, from law school to work to the library. So I know all about this, sir. And he, even though he had overcome the addiction, he still had what I term, and people have heard me term this, crackish ways. So you've overcome your alcoholism. And I'm saying that about you.
Wow.
What happens with long-term addiction, I've studied this because I'm interested in knowing about my brother. Loved him to death. What happens with long-term, because I was really upset that his life didn't change, his values, his character, none of that changed when he quit the drugs.
Coming up.
And so you left him at risk of poverty, thank God for not.
And it wasn't easy. It wasn't like I was privileged or spoiled. We just barely got by.
You're watching Mathis Court with Judge Mathis. This is Mathis Court with Judge Mathis.
Mathis Court is back with the case of Ray Cole, who is suing Lucas Cole for breach of contract.
But I've changed, Your Honor.
I know, but your thinking hasn't. Point is, sir, you neglected to provide him tens of thousands of dollars that you owe him. And you come in here asking for some $3,000 after you'd abandoned this young man to your alcohol. And now, when he does give you a chance to be a father, instead, you want to be a loan shark and just overlook how you abandoned and would have left him in poverty. Your aunt had some decent working or middle class money, income.
Yeah,
okay, good. So you didn't have to live in poverty. I had to live in poverty. I had to live in the projects all my life because my daddy's abandonment. And so you left him at risk of poverty, thank God for not.
And it wasn't easy. It wasn't like I was privileged or spoiled. We just barely got by. And,
You certainly could have used that money for college.
Absolutely. But
If you went to college, you would probably have to get a loan.
Yeah, I was working 2 jobs to put myself through college with a daughter.
And this is the thanks you get when you open up and embrace at a time that you are doing your best. You have done your best. I'm proud of you. Anybody that's watching should be proud of you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Overcoming that's a hell of a thing to overcome an addiction by a parent.
Coming up.
It's redemption. What redemption after you've abandoned the boy? You do all that, and then you sue him? What part of redemption is that? You're watching Mathis Court with Judge Mathis. This is Mathis Court with Judge Mathis.
Mathis Court is back with the case of Ray Cole, who is suing Lucas Cole for breach of contract.
But I also know that you should understand. We talked about this, redemption. What redemption after you've abandoned the boy, pay the child support that you would owe to care for him? You do all that, and then you sue him? What part of redemption is that? He's done everything he's supposed to do, ×2, without a mother or a father. Do you have any idea the psychological effect that must have on him?
He doesn't. He chose alcohol.
Yeah, I know what it did to me with my mother dying as a teenager and not having a father. If it either went one way or the other, and that's probably what happened with my brothers. You go one way or the other. You go destructive or you get inspired. I was inspired by the fact that I had a man that abandoned me. I was going to show him. And I did. Where your mama? He passed. Where your daddy? I don't know. That's what he had to face every single day of his life because of you. And then you come in here talking about you need your bills paid. Show me some evidence that he said he would pay you back. People say they're going to pay you back. They give you dates and times. You loan somebody money, you say, I want it back in 3 months. And we're going to see how low down he still is.
Gift, and then the rest of it
we know he was low down from age 8 to 22.
He said if you look at the checks for the
There ain't no looking at no check. Show me something that says loan.
It says loan. For
Where? Loan for alternator.
How will Judge Mathis rule? Find out when Mathis Court returns.
You're watching Mathis Court with Judge Mathis. This is Mathis Court with Judge Mathis. Now here's rent and gift. That doesn't say anything about repayment. That's $600, $1,600. $800 rent, doesn't say repay. So you do have one thing that says loan. All the others do not. So I am to infer if you had 4 checks and you only put one as a loan, that means the others are not loans. Otherwise you'd have put them on all 4. You see how he has that? Loan for alternator?
Yes, Your Honor.
I have no reason to dispute that. I'm gonna give you $900, sir. That's the only place I saw loan anywhere in your documents. $900 is your judgment. And if you take it, you should be ashamed of yourself. Have a good day. Bye-bye. I don't want to talk to you no more.
all rise.
Judge Mathis has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant owes $900.
If you or someone you know is struggling or in a crisis, help is available. Call or text 988 or chat at 988lifeline.org. To learn how to get support for mental health, drug, or alcohol issues, visit findsupport.gov. If you're ready to locate a treatment facility or provider, you can go directly to findtreatment.gov or call 800-662-HELP.
This has been a production of Allen Media Group.